In today's brand new Gran Turismo Sport video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit special, as I'm taking the Isle of Man Time Attack Subaru for a run around the Nordschleife to see if we can beat the sedan car lap record. But do we have what it takes? Let's find out. What's going on, guys? My name is Batilio and welcome back to Gran Turismo Sport, and something a little bit different today. It's been a while since I've done a Gran Turismo Sport video, and I've been meaning to do this one for a while because about 3-4 weeks ago, in one of the Gran Turismo Facebook groups I'm in, someone posted an image of a tweet. And I've popped it up on screen now, so this is basically what it is. It's from the guys at Prodrive UK, the people behind the Isle of Man Time Attack car and various others, I assume. So, visit the Prodrive, and I'm going to paraphrase here, visit the Prodrive collection at Silverstone next week for a chance to try and beat the Subaru WRX STI Nurburgring lap time record of 6:57.5 on Gran Turismo on PlayStation next to the real car. So, this got me thinking. I haven't done anything like this for a while. My enjoyment of the Nordschleife, the Nurburgring Nordschleife, is growing with every run I take. So I figured I'd take up the challenge, the Prodrive challenge as I'm calling it, to see if I, in the Isle of Man Time Attack car, which came to the game via DLC a few months back, see if I could beat this time. Now, the time itself was set by Richie Stanaway in a car that's a little bit different to the one that we have in the game. So the car that set the record, the Sedan lap record around the Nordschleife, is the WRX STI NBR. So Nurburgring record or something to that effect. And there are some subtle differences, like I said, between this car that we have in the game and the NBR, which took on the lap record, or attempted the lap record at the Nordschleife. The first one being the one that attempted the record at the Nordschleife, the NBR, seemingly has a little bit more power. It's, from what I've been reading, the literature I've been reading about it, it produces over 600 brake horsepower at about 8,500 revs. Whereas the one we have in the game, it's producing 578, so 580 nearest makes no difference at 7,500 revs, or 7,200, or something to that effect. So the one that took on the lap record in real life is slightly more powerful. Also, looking at the images of the car, while for the most part they seem identical, the NBR version seemingly has an adjusted or an extended or a larger rear diffuser, so probably going to produce more downforce, and he's going to make it quicker through the corners, etc, etc. So those are things to take into account there, the differences between the two. But still, I think a 657 is doable, and we're going to see just how doable in a moment. In terms of setup, one of the big things that I tried to focus on was the rear of the car. It's very twitchy through fast changes of direction, and there are quite a few on this particular circuit. So it's very, very twitchy. It's just about softening up a little bit. It feels like it just it was a little bit too stiff, and the Nordschleife is a very bumpy circuit on the whole. There are some nice smooth sections, but overall it's just a very, very bumpy surface that you have to go through. So softening the car up, especially at the rear, was a big priority, because you'd get times where fast change of direction, the rear end would just break away. So I also upped the downforce there to try and alleviate that. Yeah, I mean, apart from that, I haven't really done much with it. The Gran Turismo Sport tuning menu for cars, I feel, isn't as in depth as, say, Project Cars 2. That's just me. So yeah, and it's all laid out a little bit differently, and all the values seemingly, how they calculate, increases and decreases is all a little bit different. So yeah, so I tried to get my head around it, and I knocked together a decent setup, and I set about practicing. So what we're going to do now is we are going to take a look and see what time I managed to set around the Nordschleife in the Subaru WRX STI Isle of Man Time Attack car. Should be a good one. Let's do it. Okay then, guys, here we go. Building up to the start of the lap. But it's very tight and twisty section, and we're on the power going down towards the start finish line and through the first corner now. A little bit of camber to it, downhill of course, it's going to help you through it. A little bit of curbing on the outside, And then we're going to try and carry as much speed through here, through this right-hander, just a little lift, get the nose in, and away we go again, down towards these very tricky S sections again. Get the nose in nice and early, get the car settled and ease on the power. Again through here as well, you're going to be feathering the throttle quite a bit through here, staying in third gear. Very, very bumpy, but we make it through there okay. And this was a corner I had quite a few troubles with. You can take the curb on both the inside and the outside of that corner, and it can really unsettle the car. So you've got to try and thread the needle a little bit. But as we come up now, one of the faster sections on the course, we're going to come over this crest, get a little bit of air, need just a little lift, get the nose in, get back on the power again, get that rear end to grip up, and then we're off to the races. We're going to be powered up to almost 180 miles an hour as we come down the hill and back up to this next very fast, very sweeping right hand. Just a little lift, get the nose in, get it settled again, and then we're going to get on the brakes fairly hard. One of the deeper braking zones on the course, and then we're going to go back downhill now to one of the lowest sections on the course. I think it's called the Foxhole because during construction of it they had to basically stop construction because a fox managed to get itself either stuck or it refused to come out of a drainage pipe. So a little bit of Nurburgring trivia for you there. Get a little bit of air, we get a little bit wide as well there, managed to just cling on, get a bit of curb down to second gear again to thread it through this tricky section. And again, you can take a little bit of curb on the inside, but you do run the risk of unsettling the car, especially at the rear. We've spoken about how twitchy this thing is through fast changes of direction. But we're off again. And again, we just get it down into fourth gear. Probably didn't need to come down into fourth gear for that one, but we definitely need to come down to third gear for this one. A little bit beyond a 90-degree corner. And then we're coming back downhill again. And this lovely, sweeping, longish right-hander, and then through one of my favourite sections of the course. You have to thread the needle, but you can carry so much speed through here if you get the line right. And then we're on to this next long right-hander again. You've got to be careful through here. It's very easy to carry a bit too much speed and you'll be in that barrier before you know it. And then down into, again, one of the another one of the slower sections on the course. Don't quite get the apex there or here, but I think the time lost, if any, is minimal at best. And then we come down into we're coming over a little bridge now, and then, again, this corner is a bit tricky. It's a wide end, it's a wide exit of the corner, but you still don't want to get on the curbs. And this one as well is uphill, very, very bumpy at the apex, so it's very, very easy to lose the rear end, but also you can take quite a bit of speed through there. On the face of it, coming up to it, you don't think you can take as much speed as you actually can. So that was a tricky corner. And again, this one here as well, very bumpy. Get a little bit out of shape at the rear, which pushes us over that curb. But we make it through there and we're back on the throttle again, and we're going to be absolutely flat out for quite a while now as we make our way back uphill. There's absolutely power in this thing through this course so far. And again, this is one of the faster sections of the course. There's quite a few curves, but you're taking every single curve on this long run uphill completely flat out. And then you're going to have a little lift as you come up to this very fast left-hander, get down roughly about 130 miles an hour. There's a little bit of the runoff on the outside. There's only a small amount, so you don't want to take too many liberties through there. And again, through this one, another tricky corner. Again, at this point, we're going to be coming roughly to around, I'd say, the end of the third of the lap, I think. We're not too far away now, but as we come up towards the carousel, one of my least favourite sections of the course. Never really been able to get it right, but we seem to be doing it just right there. Maybe could have taken a little bit more speed through there, but I think I'm thinking that for every single corner I go through, pretty much. We're coming uphill now. Again, I apologise. I don't know what any of these corner names. I'm not just going to give them corner names like I do in my Hill Climb Monsters series, but. Yeah, very, very bumpy, and again downhill there's going to be a lot of elevation change through this final third of the run itself. Again, we've got a little dip down here, and I think this is normally where a lot of the festivals happen, the music festivals and so on, which is why you get a lot of track markings and graffiti down on the circuit itself. And again, we come through this right-hander, don't quite get it where we want it to, and then downhill again. Again, you just want to just feed it out a little bit to the outside and then get back in, but we get a little bit too much grass. It puts us a little bit out of shape, and we get over the curb on the inside. But again, we just about rein it in. And again, this one, don't quite get it where we wanted to. It's quite a wide corner on the exit, but it's very easy to get sucked out over the curbing and into an accident. And again here, taking a bit of a liberal take to the track markings with a bit more grass than I would have wanted to, but we come back downhill again. Then we're going to get this very abrupt dip. You've got to be very careful here. Make sure the car's settled before you turn in, because that can turn into a very big accident if you're turning too early or too late for that particular corner. And now we're going to come back downhill again. Just have to feather the throttle a little bit. We're going to be trying to go as flat as we possibly can, taking plenty of curbing on the inside and the outside, left and right. But we make it through okay. And again, down into this one, it's quite a deceptive corner. It's a very fast right-hander, but we took maybe a little bit too much speed through there. A little bit of curbing on the outside and quite a bit on the outside. Ride it a little bit longer than we probably should have as we come now into the second carousel and up towards what would be the final part of the run pretty much. We're going to have an uphill here, and then this is a relatively quick right-hander, but it didn't quite get it how I wanted to. It's a nasty bump on the apex there, which could really unsettle this car, so it does still need quite a bit of setup work, and we get another bit of curbing there as we get onto the straight. Do love them curbs around the Nordschleife. But now it's got a chance to settle down now for the final push. As you can see, the timing, I think we're definitely on to break this record. But we've still got quite a ways to go. We're going to be powering all the way up to nearly 180 miles an hour as we coming uphill, and we're going to come through this little left-hand kink and downhill. That's where we're going to find a little bit of extra speed now. You're going to see it's going to jump right up to 179 miles an hour, and then you've got to find the right braking point, get your concentration, bring it down gradually through the gears. A little bit of grass on the inside there. Get the nose in. Keep it in second gear again. Just ease it through here. You don't want to be too abrupt with the steering or the throttle. Get it settled down through the final corner and across the line for a 6 minutes 41.638. So not only have we beaten the record of 6:57.5, but we've beaten it by nearly over 16 seconds, I think, if my math is correct, or just under. So absolutely superb run. Really enjoyed it. Admittedly, the first and second third I was very familiar with, but through the practice, because normally it was a case that the accidents were happening through the first and second third, didn't really have a whole lot to draw upon in terms of where I could find speed through that final third of the course, which is why we're a little bit ragged through certain sections. So I definitely think there's more time in this. I can get into the 630s in this car. A little bit more timing to get my head around the setup menus and the setup work for this car, and get it exactly where I want it, so the rear end is a little bit more settled. And again, just a little bit more practice through that final third of the course, and I definitely think I can get into the 630s. But yeah, I mean, overall I'm very happy. Unfortunately, because for some reason, and I can't find it, if you know where to get to these menus, tell me in the comments, but I can't find a global leaderboard at all for this, so I don't know where this time sits against everybody else who may have done this particular run in the world. I really don't. So yeah, if they haven't got a global leaderboard, then arguably one of the dumbest decisions in gaming, but we can overlook that. I'm not going to get on my soapbox about that. But yeah, overall really enjoyable. Highly suggest you try this car. It does take a little bit of setup work for this particular course, but once you find that sweet spot, it's so much fun to drive. It really is. So if you haven't tried it already, and you're a fan of the Nordschleife, then take this car, thrash it around there. You won't regret it. You really won't. But there we go, guys. So that's the end of today's video. So I hope you enjoyed this. It was something a little bit different, something a little bit special. I might do more of these for the future, not just in Gran Turismo, but around, probably the Nordschleife, but with different cars as well. Maybe look to try and beat real-world lap records, something along those lines. Maybe. If that's what you'd like to know, let me know in the comments and leave a like on this video as well. But yeah, like I said, guys, that's the end of today's video. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see more Gran Turismo Sport or just general racing content from myself. And yeah, so thank you for watching. Stay cool. And as always, I will catch you in the next video. Peace!